Hello, welcome back. The Real Dog 56, thank you for following an hour ago. The Sky Guy D&D, thank you for following 6 minutes ago. We return to the party, working their way across the frozen river, greeted by an individual known as Murdoch, a paler-skinned dwarven fellow that you see on your screen here. Making their way across, they come nearer to one of those kind of slope hills of frozen wave, essentially. Again, much like what you had seen, Karan, it's covered over with a fur blanket to keep some of that air out. The slope itself already blocking against the direction of the wind when it blows. That cold northern air. All right, you lot, here we are. Kind of holds that open and motions for the other individuals to come in. Dwarven fellows, some with that pale skin, others with normal, but cloaked in warming clothes as best as possible. Each of them work their way in. You see various hammers, axes, majority of them in pickaxes. Welcome to your humble abode. I like to call it Murdoch's Crystaline Palace, but more accurately, it's a Crystaline Temple.
Thank you for bringing us in. It's kind of hellish out there, just colder.
You run into some of the locals.
Those spider things, yeah.
Nah.
Are those very common around these parts?
Every now and then. They mean to keep their distance away from our little encampment, though. Every now and then, if we go prodding around too deep, stumble upon one, but we've managed. How many of them did you go against?
Three.
Three at once. You really are a brave lot. Good on
We
you.
really didn't have a choice. By the time we saw them, they were right up on us.
Yeah. Fierce bastards they are. Well, glad you made it out all right. You're welcome to stay here and recover, especially when the spikes come.
Thank you. Is there anything aside from those spiders that we need to worry about out here on the ice? That and a fault, I guess.
Out there, aside from the wind and the sky falling on you, the spiders. And further up north, all kinds of beasties, but out here, the spiders. Well, deeper down there as well. He motions his head towards the temple. Go on, I'll show you. It's safe in there, but once you prod around deeper, that's when you run into the, well, unnatural.
Karan would be intrigued about the temple to see what could be learned, provided it's safe.
We got fires down here. Go on.
What
He
is
starts
the temple?
to walk in. Up to you whether you follow.
Cole would catch up and so as the night continues, there will be lots of conversations between the two. But I've always assumed that food helps the conversation go along and was curious, do you have ingredients. I'm a bit of a cook myself. Could cook something up for your men and my party. It's been a rough couple of hours. I'd like to get some good food in them.
We've nae in the way of ingredients for proper meals, mostly just survival. This is maybe our 5th or 6th expedition. We've tried, but not made a whole lot of progress.
Your food for survival then, what do you have?
Meats we've tried to keep less than frozen, but cook them up, salt them up, get the job done.
You show us your temple, if you don't mind showing me to your pantry or where you try to keep it. I'll make something up for you guys. Show your hospitality to us. Try to show hospitality to you.
Roll persuasion check.
Wasn't expecting that.
He wasn't expect to be asked about his food stores.
I guess that's fair. Persuasion is +0. Okay, 12.
Well, it depends on how long you're staying. You may not have to worry about what we've got to eat. You got enough of your own. Also,
Yeah.
all you lot, what brings you up this way in the first place, you got a death wish.
We're going to
Cool.
Vansilath.
Vansilath. Oh, you lot really have blocked your cockers, huh?
Well,
What business you got up there?
we heard
Really?
that it's angry.
And boy, is she ever.
So, we're hoping to soothe it and come. I'm gonna
Yeah,
look
well,
to
yeah.
Cole and Aurelia.
I hate to play
We're
devil's
looking-
advocate, but what were you gonna do in the way of soothing Vansilath?
Well, once upon a
Or-
time, we soothed a. Would it be a god with some music? I mean, what do your fables say? Do you
We
have
did
Every
fables?
reform a
say.
god.
So, on a hunch, on an inkling, that Vansilath is awful cranky lately. You decide you're gonna trek up here, bear the winds, and then do what?
From our understanding, there are guardians of Vansilath from the stories that we've heard. People that are like you, like our friend Aurelia, that are here to keep Vansilath from blowing her top. But lately, it seems like she's about to blow when there's no one at the seat of the ship. So our hopes were to come and help the Guardians, or see if there was something we could do to stop the explosion from happening.
Right, the Von mean. We've certainly played our part in their little rituals. Fortunately for you, you've come to the right place. I don't know what you know about all that, but we do the digging. We uncover the relics. Exchange, we
tell
get
us
the
about-
treasures. They get the little items they need to please the mountain.
What are the
You-
treasures?
All sorts of lost treasures. Items from before this was all frozen wasteland. That's what we are. I mean, certainly a different kind, but I'm still a dwarf, love. Treasures in my blood.
What is this temple that it sounds like you guys are excavating?
Aye. I couldn't tell you what it is, all I know is that it exists. We've tried a couple times to get down in there, but What's going on down there?
Well, I
Or-
think that we've
More spiders or more?
Nah, no spiders. Not that we've encountered but a few times, but that's the least of your worries. Just undead. They used to put curses in all their tombs back in the day, so conveniently enough for explorers and adventurers like us who want to stumble upon that treasure. Well, they got things that prevent us from doing that. I tell you what,
I think that
you want that relic for the Bon Silath? One of those cold crystals. I'd reckon to bet there's one down there. And
Well, I
I'd
think
also
that we
reckon to
need-
bet that there's lots of treasure. I get the treasure. You get the crystal.
will you be coming with us to help with the things that are down there?
Up to a certain point. There's some treasure that's just not worth it.
Can Asher do an insight check to see if he's like keeping it on the, if he's trying to fuck us over here in any way, shape, or form, essentially, or
Roll insight.
fifth or 16?
With a 16, there's a tiny bit of an air of like your funeral, but if that's what you want, then go get it. But he is definitely forthright that he wants the treasure. That's what he's there for.
Well,
Okay.
maybe some of the treasure, but not all of it. I mean, if we're doing the work. Something
Listen, my
fair.
diggers, they're great. They've carved out a lot of this, but I've lost a lot of them. It's becoming a lot less worth it for them. Gold, jewelry, up to a certain point. There's a certain point we won't go. I stop right there. You can go the rest of your way. Anything you find beyond that point, your business.
Have-
Relics, magic items. That's what.
As he kind of realizes that he's probably not supposed to be speaking for the rest of the party, but Cole likes relics, likes magic items.
That's what.
Oh, I'm sure
I'd
you'll find them
be
scattered
interested.
about.
Have you uncovered a library? What have you uncovered? Any good rooms?
Various rooms, but nothing that we haven't been too keen on yet. Got most of the treasure we could. There's still a lot lurking down there, but we haven't made it beyond a certain few rooms. We'd like to check those out. The main chamber. That's all yours.
Are there any, like, especially sealed doors? Not blocked ones, but sealed ones you haven't been able to get into?
Aye, that's just before the main chamber. There's a few of them that we haven't been able to get to, because once we do, there's something there. Goes through the walls, takes out the men before they can dig it open. You might run into some of them down there. We weren't able to retrieve the bodies. Some kind of apparition. A keeper of the temple, or the tomb, I suppose.
What do you suppose this place is or was?
A tomb. Ancient.
Of the Volmine?
I'm not sure who they were.
Speaking of the Von Mean, Are they still around? Are they just more north of here?
They mind their business up there. They can keep that cold ass mountain. I'm surprised if they're worried about the mountain blowing that they haven't come asking for our help looking for more crystals unless they've already got a store of their own. In which case you'd think they'd already used it.
When was the last time you guys spoke with them? Actually.
I couldn't tell you, I never have.
You
I've
haven't
heard
in your
tales of it,
lifetime.
not in my lifetime, nah.
Oh, that doesn't make me
But, I
feel
mean,
warm and fuzzy
To be
inside.
fair, I'm only 48.
Young. Well, we help you with this temple. We find our way through. Will you help us to the Von Main? Maybe a safer trail. Because that's where our ultimate goal is. To stop the endless winter.
Mate, the way I look at it, you need that crystal one way or another. So once you have that, that's
Yeah.
your business. I'll help you to the crystal. Beyond that, bloke your cocker.
You at
What's the
least
party?
promise safe haven here until we do that. Possibly
Absolutely.
after as well.
Rest up as much as you need. You see, it's this big, almost igloo, domed, kind of main chamber here. Different wooden setups and stuff. That seems like supplies that they've brought out here for their excavation and dig. You see lots of different digging tools and stuff, but they have like bedrolls and furs and stuff that they've built this little like fur shanty town within this entrance of the tomb. It's comfortably warm, comparatively speaking, in here than it is outside for sure. You get the sense you wouldn't be
Well-
taking damage in here.
We'll take an area for ourselves, if you wouldn't mind, Murdoch. You guys like have a hut, tavern? I don't know what you guys got down here. But
They don't really
place
have
for
much
us
in
to
the way of like, if anything, they have like privacy tents, but I mean, they're just, again, it's just hides and furs and stuff draped over sticks for,
Should we keep
Well,
in the
son.
dome to stay warm tonight before we trek down?
extra cozy.
Mm-hmm. I know Karun would definitely wind up using his ability to create food and water because he would do it anyways. Might as well share the wealth, although he'd probably ask Cole to make it a little bit more bearable. 'Cause it's pretty bland.
Yeah, Colt would take the spices and ingredients if they can produce, the meat and vegetables. He can produce the spices and stuff like that. So
Don't even
Make
need to. I'm magically creating it, so it's just. But it's bland, so that's where your expertise could possibly
yeah,
make it better. Maybe I don't know.
yeah,
Magic might just be like, nope. I'm gonna taste like bleh.
shit. Well, if it's possible, Cool would try.
Yep, go ahead.
Dirty 20.
Okay, the dirty 20, I don't remember what that does. I don't remember
food is
what
seasoned.
the effect was. Yes,
It's good. Well, I wasn't sure what we had talked about, or if it still needs to be figured out.
So we didn't really flesh that out. We're trying to come up with some kind of system that provides, depending on how well he does with that, that provides some like basically temp HP bonuses to the party. But yeah, I don't know how much we've worked that out. So
To be
mean-
determined.
I guess I could see too how it'd be like in this situation it wouldn't apply because it's magic food as opposed to like actual proper cooked food. Maybe I don't know.
Sure.
But it tastes better at least.
it tastes better. It's comfy. You know what?
Just
Everybody
bring it-
just add a D4 of temporary HP. Sure.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're probably working our own campsite. Everyone's gonna roll out his bedroll and start making himself cozy and almost mirroring every other time. They've always slept underneath the dome, so
Oh, Briar. I mean, how warm is it in here?
It's still cold, but you're not taking damage. I don't know exactly. Arbitrarily, you're not taking damage in here.
Bree, do you think that if you used your hut, but at the entrance, it would just make this whole area warmer, or it might be too much?
I mean, I'm never going to say no to being extra, Kieran. I mean, it's just 10 feet, so.
It would mean you'd have to stay near the entrance.
And also,
That's
if you're
okay.
blocking off the only entrance, there's probably people that probably wouldn't be too happy with that.
Well,
yeah,
it would be for the
just
benefit of everyone.
Logically thinking.
Because we could permit them through it as well. I guess I'm thinking like, hey, let's plug the outside hole with magic.
It's an option. You don't know how they would respond to that.
9 creatures or smaller can fit inside the dome. Creatures and objects within the dome when you cast, the spell can move freely. All other creatures and objects are barred from passing through it. So it doesn't say that I can pick and choose like who can come
It's
in. or
only
not.
those 9 creatures. So the 9 creatures that are permitted are the only ones. So it's not just like, okay, so then it wouldn't work anyways.
Yeah. So maybe not. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, it's certainly better than being outside,
Mm-hmm.
especially without magic.
And if we all smush together, it'll be a little bit warm. But
Nothing wrong with being toasty in this weather, although it's always depressing when we have to step back out into it.
Or
Her-
would sit down, cross-legged, Indian style, and be like, all right, bring it in. Like, starting the cuddle puddle kind of thing.
Bree's just gonna take an hour and she's going to ritually cast Find Familiar, and she's going to create a little bat. So, and then curl up into the little cuddle puddle. Or a little eat bat.
Okay.
do we want to
anybody
have
else
somebody
would like to
stay
do?
up and still do rotations? Because these are new people. We don't know
That's
what they are capable.
That's what the dome is for. We shouldn't need to with the.
Yeah, we're just going to use the dome for ourselves now rather than try to like... They're already eating the food. By the way, did they say anything about that even? Or were they just like,
They're kind of quiet and somber. It's just,
It's all right, yeah. I know the food's planned. They don't have to thank me for it.
they don't have to. Yeah, they're all just
Kidding.
It's almost like, yeah, it's just expected. Everybody's miserable in this together kind of thing.
Beautiful.
Once the dome's
Anything
up,
anybody would like to do? Yep.
Asher's gonna look, just once everyone's together, he's gonna look at everyone and be like, "So, what is everyone's opinion on the? They don't seem ill will."
I mean, I got a little insight into Murdoch when we first met him. Yes, I didn't see anything as far as ill will, but I guess I can understand living up here, doing what they do. It's not exactly a thrilling or happy experience.
It seems that we're a means to an end. He can use us, and we can use him. Not in a good way or a bad way, just tools to get a job done. I've seen those eyes before multiple times in the tribe of not life, just survival. We are not a threat, and we are not an ally. We're just tools.
I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page on this one. In case
I'm-
someone.
I'm not so worried about the people so much as what's in the temple itself and sealed behind the doors. There's going to be a super amount of traps. And also, sometimes things are sealed behind doors for a reason. So,
Right.
And how many centuries has it been down there? Who knows?
I mean, imagine we release a demon or something. Could you imagine?
Or God forbid another plague.
I wouldn't be shocked either way.
But imagine, bro, adding Demon Slayer to the title.
That would be pretty cool. Bat Mom, Fire Wielder, Demon Slayer, I like it.
Karan,
Aurelia,
You could go first. We both called for different people.
Karan, would you mind if you have the capabilities right now to send to my mother and let her know that we found dwarves and we are safe? It's been a couple days in our travel, so
Unfortunately, I'm not able to. At this point, that fight took a bit out of me, but I promise I'll send first thing in the morning.
no, don't do that. We need your spells for all of them tomorrow, because we don't know what's going to be in there. Does, Bree, do you happen to have any?
Can't do magic inside of the hut.
Oh, that's right.
It's only
Yeah.
been a couple days. You
One more will be fine, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Alright,
This place feels like death.
it does. I don't want,
you're more able to determine people's actions, and your silence is worrisome. What are you thinking with your people here and being in a temple?
I think we're about to meddle with things that are much bigger than us. And like you said, I don't think these people care. I think it is a matter of survival. But I just don't think that they're thinking about the consequences. And I don't think that they should necessarily be trusted.
no.
Uh,
Well, it might be my paranoia, but I'm a
That's
little
why
bit
I brought that
worried.
up.
Worried that they were so welcoming to bring us in. It's a little, it's nice, don't get me wrong.
I think we keep our heads on swivels when it comes to these people.
Mm.
We don't have to be unfriendly, but
No.
they're not our friends.
Well,
And
do we
go ahead, Bree.
even want to go into the temple, or do we just want to GTFO?
I
Well-
think we should definitely go into the temple.
We might need to, in fact.
This sounds like that crystal that we need is going to solve, but is it really? We don't really know a whole lot of what's needed for Ronsalot.
I have a
I can-
theory, and I am not as thoughtful as you are, Karan. Do you think the volcano is some kind of holding place for some ancient god?
To be completely honest, that's precisely what I'm thinking. we already know that that's a fact with Gahendra. Now, if this is related or not, I don't have enough to opine on that, but I wouldn't be surprised that this eruption would better be described as a release or escape were it to occur. That's probably what the ritual of your people has been, is to quell whatever is trying to break free.
Reinforce the prison bars, to speak.
Right.
Precisely.
Rowan's just gonna lean back and rest his head against the dome. And we haven't had the best of luck when it comes to crystals. Yet.
There's a fair few things we've had some poor luck in.
Yeah.
But there's been some things we've had some good fortune in as well, so I guess we can only hope that we draw that side of the stick.
We're bound for
Not
good
the
luck.
other.
Wish.
Movie.
I don't understand why they're not talking to the dwarves then to get these relics.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's something else happening.
A thought has come across my mind of, if you get the crystals for us, we allow you to live. If these guardians that are above them have been for centuries allowing them to live to get the crystals for them in a vicious cycle, and if they haven't came knocking at their door asking for them to get the crystals, they haven't gone up there to ask why not.
Gosh, I wish we knew more. A lot more to make this decision, because
I think getting the crystal is a important step. It's better to have it and not to need it than need it and have to trek back.
it's the possibility of opening up a door to a potential demon.
But if it sounds more like maybe the elves abandoned the area, maybe something happened.
I don't know about that one. This seems like something they've honored for years, tradition even. It's their duty. They're known as the protectors of the North.
Sometimes the duty of the protector is cut short for many reasons, and I'm gonna look to Rayling like that's just the worst case scenario but I think we should be prepared to.
I have a theory, but I don't want to say it.
I have one as well, and I think at this point, at the risk of bringing something unfortunate to light, we probably should be as upfront as possible, if it's feasible.
Yeah, you should
So-
just speak what's on your mind, man.
You can punch me, Aurelia. How old are you?
27?
Only reason why I ask is this may be your parents. One of them came down in harbor. Safer. From something from the north. Maybe. I don't know. It's a guess.
We're talking
Maybe.
centuries, years of the transfer of leadership.
Something.
What would be the case if one of those leaders was not as respectable in honor as the rest? We talk as if they are the leaders or the protectors of the North, but what if one just said he didn't want to be anymore?
I don't know if it's leadership in question. I think it just might be what resides. That's
Are you
my
saying
guess.
that they're choosing to let it escape?
No. I think there might be something else. An outside force. Maybe danger outside of what is in this temple or whatever. I honestly don't know. I think the Von Mean are or were in danger by themselves. That's
With-
my theory. I don't know.
In the amount of
never-
time that I've been with your group, you guys have fought a god already. I believe that if there is power down here, and in the right hands, depending on what we face when we get to Von Silov, might be a good idea to have extra fighting power going into it. I think the temple is our best chance at that. I can respect the worrisome of what could be released, but if it could be controlled, or better yet, what we could find, imagine the amount of people we could help. Imagine what we could stop.
Sure.
And if this temple doesn't kill us, the volcano will. So.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's yeah.
Karan, you said you had a theory too?
My theory is that whomever that you saw that led Asher Asterion out of the cell, that entity might be influencing what's occurring somehow. I worry that there might be some legitimacy to what Cole was saying if there was infighting created amongst the Von Mean through an external influence such as that particular individual. Problem still is that it doesn't change the fact we have to go north. We probably should be as prepared as possible, even if there is a risk, though we should still be extremely careful what we encounter down there. But my theory was that something has compromised, and whether it is a direct external influence or something more subversive, such as tearing apart the Von Mean from the inside out, these dwarves don't typically ever interact with the Von Mean. The Von Mean interact with them, and that's how it has been. And it just hasn't occurred. And they think nothing of it because they just focus on their day-to-day survival out here in this frozen desert.
Kuran, do you think that the Von Mean might be connected to the Moonwell in any, not in the sense of the same deity, but like those crystals you mentioned were...
Perhaps, I don't know. I know that all Mean are connected, especially after learning more about the ancient Aelos. We all come from a progenitor race, if you will. But as far as if the same crystals, such as in the Moon Lake, my phylactery, considering we found those on Calliope, there's potential. There could be something deeper that connects everything, but we won't know until we get there and see. We should consider it, though. In fact, it'd probably be easier if it was. Less puzzle pieces.
With temples, right? There's like writings on walls, right? It's like
That's
things we
what's
can
piquing
read.
my interest. Precisely. That's what's piquing my interest.
That'll give us some information down there.
Does that spell that you casted on me to talk to the nose work for translating hieroglyphics and other languages such as those?
Mine does.
My spell. Oh,
Cool.
go ahead, Bree.
Good.
Mine's different.
Yes, mine's a ritual and it lasts for like an hour. So easy peasy for the reading.
And I think that's a great idea. Reading the stories of the past. It's better than... I was gonna recommend we talk to Murdoch and see what stories he's heard, but he's man and these are ancient hieroglyphics. If we can read them ourselves, they'd probably tell us the truth before he would.
And... Oh, were you going to say something, Ron?
No. Just taking this in.
With
I was just going to say, if we really suspect something is not being divulged to us, I can press harder on my inquiry. They'll just be quite aware that I'm looking
Okay.
for an answer.
I just don't think he cares. I think he sees us as a way to get what he wants. That's it.
I don't think they have any ill will. They just want down there.
Now, with preparation for tomorrow, I've started to understand the way that this ring ability works. Do you guys feel... I understand you're tapped, but with all of the magic users, is there healing spells or anything we could use an extra pick-me-up for tomorrow with whatever we're versing?
What? How much magic can you put into that? Out of above table, like what spell slots open?
Above table,
It's
level 5, yeah, up to 5 levels. So like
5
level 2
levels
and
worth
level
of
3.
spells, yeah.
Yes, level 2 or level 3, 5 total. So,
What's currently in it?
well,
It's 3, right?
currently there is a 5. It's 5 total, but he could cast that to get
What was it? What's in it
healing.
right now?
erupting,
Yeah, it's
Oh.
erupting
earth,
Mhm.
and
enhanced
the
ability.
enhanceability. Yes,
So you'd have to burn those first.
yes, but I mean, could very quickly and put in healing spells is more what he was thinking for a break case emergency. Anything else, just curiosity of what we're going to verse next would be 2 extra spell slots, or how many ever.
If you want to I don't see, unless there's a way that you can just get rid of it without using it. We probably don't want to use eruption right now, erupting earth. But if you get rid of your ability enhancement, I could put cure wounds, as I'm sure you could, Asher. That way, at least you can sustain yourself.
Okay.
He will get up, walk over to Bree.
Bree, I have your hand.
Okay.
And as she places her hand in his, he casts full strength on her. And then he will go find a table and put his arm down and challenge her to a arm wrestle.
Oh, hell yeah.
Go ahead and roll your strength check.
That's not wasting it, that's for sure.
What do I add? What is bull strength?
This is going to be all for your DM's flavor, but bull strength, the target has advantage on strength checks, and his or her carrying capacity is doubled.
Okay, so advantage with my -1. Let's go.
It's okay, I have a +0, so I rolled a 3.
Okay, yeah, Briar wins.
Briar wins.
At first you think maybe he went easy on you, but you realize oh, that must have been what that spell did. So, yeah.
Okay.
Friar, do you have a dispel magic or
Yes.
counter spell ready?
Yes. Yes.
If you cast that spell, she should be able to counter it, and we have no effects. Nothing bad happens.
Oh, the eruption earth. Okay.
If I counter
I'm sure with this
spell,
you
it
can also
won't
just
happen.
remove a spell. You don't have to necessarily.
Can we? I mean, that's
Yeah.
okay. with doing so, he would remove, as long as everyone's on the same page as the eruption is okay to remove, he would remove it, and then whatever.
Cole takes a little pin and he depresses a button on the ring for 5 seconds.
Resets. Yeah. Presses 2 buttons at once and then resets. Yes. You sure you would like to reset your device? Yes.
Okay, so then now you have 5.
I could give you a good barrier spell. You could cast it to make 10, and they'll heal people for 1 HP.
Do you think that the counter spell or dispel
They would also have
magic
to eat it
come into
themselves,
use?
Yes, well, you could.
Feed it.
I guess you could.
But you had to spend an
A
action.
lot of
to-
actions to do that, yeah. Probably not.
It would be more of an after action cure, but
What do you have as far as 3s?
currently available, I have 1 level 3 slot open. I can do Cure Wound, Enhance Ability, Flame Blade, or Revivify, but I don't have the Diamond. Or Area of Vitality, but that's a concentration, so
That's your rule, Holson, on a concentration spell.
What about?
If he has area of vitality in there, a concentration spell, can he cast it and then make the concentration saves to maintain it?
It
Also,
would be as the spell is. I mean,
okay, and then Cole, it would be like if
basically
you use
additional
anything that
spell
breaks
slots in it.
concentration.
it's yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
could
it's
do that.
whoever has it can cast the spell as is. Whoever has the ring, they would have to cast it as is. So if he has to maintain concentration, he has to maintain concentration. Casting another spell would end it. Whatever.
So I guess that would be up to you. I think I can do a level 2 cure wounds, and then Cole, if you think.
Well, more up to like the party as well. If we think that healing, 2 more healing spells would be better than, or possibly a dispel magic or a counter spell. Extra one of those would be good. Whatever. I'm just trying to set us up for whatever fight we're about to have next time that could be useful. That's all.
And keep in mind that you can. Well, I guess you would lose a spell slot, so it's not really useful. Just kidding. I was going to say you can take your rest and then. Does anybody get spell slots from taking a short rest?
I do.
If you take a short rest, you can get all your spell slots back, and then you can take your long rest and then just get it back again, essentially.
Which
she could put anything in that she wants and not.
But both of them as elves anyways, long rest is only 4 hours, so they could technically take a short rest.
You could while
For
everybody else
us,
is resting.
long rest
Yeah.
for them, and then have all their spell slots back and do
Absolutely.
another one.
Mhm.
So anything that you want, you could also reset your skills if you want. Like if you want to take a short rest, get a spell slot back, decide whatever that is, then take another, or like take a long rest, then take another long rest to make it a full 8 hours. You can get your spell slot back, whatever, and change your spells again, whatever you want to do.
Or, I could do this actually.
do we just want to put 5 Cure Wounds in at level 1?
I was going to do that, or
We can-
the other thing I could do is I can give him Spirit Guardians.
What level is that?
The Spirit Guardians, I give it to him at level 4.
And I'll give him a level 1 Cure Wounds.
Sure, yeah. I mean, technically, I could
Okay.
still do it too.
So that's what you can put in it.
Yeah, why not? Let's give you
Okay.
that.
Spiritual Guardian.
And 1d8 plus 5 for Cure Wounds.
Yeah, so your Spirit Guardian. Hang on a second. I'm just gonna.
Spiritual bullshit. Let's go.
Oh, dude, this is. Okay. I'm just gonna send this over to you directly.
How long
You're good.
does
We
the
can
super
get to this
strength last?
next time as well, so we can move on from there and get our spells and stuff
Up
decided.
to an hour. It's concentration up to an hour.
Stream.
I'm going to pick you up like a baby.
You're gonna have to try.
I can, with full strength, I can lift 800 pounds.
Okay, easy peasy.
Okay, Cole gets very okay. This has been a while, like reminding him of Elwyn.
It's been a while. All right, so yeah, we will get to all the other spell deciding stuff. You can do that off stream when we come back. But is there anything else anybody would like to do before you finish your long rests and make your way out of the dome? What would you like to do? It's not necessarily morning, but the long rest is over. Everybody receives their long rest. No issues. They give you your peace. Let you recover, understanding that you're going to be a useful tool.
Mage armor.
Absolutely.
Okay. Should we go find Murdoch before we head on down?
Easy enough.
Well, from my understanding, he was going to be our guide until a certain point. Possibly wouldn't be a bad idea to ask him if he's got some sort of map of what they've discovered already.
I haven't got much way of a map. Most of it's just experience having been down there. It's pretty straightforward. You walk along the corridor. There's a few different chambers along the way. Some open, some not. It's a interesting structure they got here. It's like you make your way through the inner halls, but there's some where you break through the wall and it's just this massive ice cube with something encased inside it. Some kind of skeleton. Massive though. There's rumours that there was old folk stories long before the divergence that there was they call them world walkers or titans. It's probably less of a tomb and more of, well, a sarcophagus if those stories are true.
In those stories, does it talk of weaknesses? In
For the
case,
world walkers, well, they're all dead. So,
well,
somebody found them.
if we go down there and its dead becomes alive, it's nice to know if there's a weakness. So your story would be appreciated.
Couldn't tell you other than the fact that it's covered in rubble and ice and mostly encased. As the story goes, if what you're looking for is those crystals that they toss over into that mountain, it's going to be in its forehead. So I imagine at some point you're going to want to get there.
And you want the gems and the gold.
Gold and the gems.
How
The
many
gems.
times? Sorry, Cole. How many times have you come to this place?
This will have been maybe our 6th incursion. I mean, not with all that much time. We've been here and back maybe 5 or
Where do
6
you live?
times within a 6-month period. We uncover these all the time. This one's just been a bit more finicky than they usually are.
Where do you live?
Further up north. I do.
Are all these people treasure hunters?
Some of them are treasure hunters, some of them are workers hired out in the promise of treasure, so I suppose that means that they are.
And you've never encountered something like this temple?
And they've always got their, they've always got their things, each of them, but this one's just been a little more aggressive.
And are you getting this treasure for the Frost Dwarves, or are you working for someone else?
I work for myself.
And all these people work for you?
In a roundabout way.
Do I believe him?
Insight.
I'd also like to roll too, listening to the conversation.
Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, he seems like he's being mostly forthright. It's the way he's saying in a roundabout way. It's like he's kind of the assumed leader, but it's never been. It's like it's unspoken, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It's his expedition. It's his thing. So like, it's just like, okay, he's leading this thing technically, but hired out each of these people and sent them on this crazy death mission for treasure. They've obviously had some success already as they've explored some, but their greed keeps them going further and further, and that's where it's getting deadlier and deadlier. And they come back, like you said, 6 times within a 6-month period.
Does it feel truthful that he's never encountered like monsters?
He said he
before?
always has. He wasn't saying that he hasn't, but not to this degree. This one's just particularly vicious, is all.
And that feels like he's not holding anything back about that?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption, Cole. You can continue.
No, please. Cole would kind of look at the rest of the party. I don't think I've fully been upfront with all of you. Probably should have talked about this last night in the bubble, but before we start, I just want you to know, growing up in the tribe, we never had a lot of friends and family. Of course, I had my brothers, but they were always doing the unbelievable. And I've always read a lot of books, artifacts. Treasure hunting is in my blood and something that I thoroughly enjoy. So as we go deeper and open up this temple, I would like to have just a second to possibly find artifacts and preserve them, if possible. I apologize for not coming up front and telling you that when we first got here.
Understandable, wanting to preserve history. Personally, I just say, let us know before you touch anything.
Of course. Of course.
Otherwise, I have no qualms.
Yeah. We all have the things that we are passionate about, so there's no harm in it.
Provided, yes, there is no harm in it.
Yeah.
You need to be sure to vet that.
I'll definitely tell you, before I do like a blood sacrifice, one of you before.
Yeah, none of those, please.
A heads up would be great.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. Hey.
It's just outright ban blood sacrifices.
Depending on how nice the relic is. I mean, you gotta think about it at least. You can't outright. No, you're right. Probably outright.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just leave that one on the name-to-name basis. Or deal with it when it comes.
I'd imagine we'd be having this when we get there.
Yeah.
Imagine we'd have this conversation as we're following Murdoch down the way.
I'll take me, some of my men, and a few of the diggers. We'll stay close behind. You're the fighters.
These crystals that you want.
If everyone's alright, I'd love to go ahead of you all just to make sure we don't trigger any traps.
I actually prepared detect magic and a magical trap detection spell today.
If someone will give me a piggyback ride, I can work into my little bed and it will keep you company with its echolocation.
Sure. I'll go ahead and click my boots of speed, so my movement isn't affected while carrying Briar. But Rowan will get down in front of her to kind of climb on, and he'll carry her. So I still have my regular 40 feet.
You see as Murdoch, at the entrance where you see that it starts to become the tomb/temple element, he's pretty swift, moving through most of the areas that he's already explored and excavated. Not really interested in those anymore. You see some of the different rooms there's some stone walls that you see that seem to be man-made with broken, decayed decorative designs over who knows how long, with ice and snow that has encompassed most of it. As you make your way through these different tunnels that lead further, deeper and colder into this tomb, he eventually leads the party, everyone kind of quiet and somber, as you make your way through, passing by some frozen corpses of dwarves that appear to be similar garb that some of the other diggers appeared to be in.
We've cleared most of the traps this far in, but coming up ahead.
He stops.
The rest of it ahead is uncharted territory.
Do I believe him?
Roll an insight.
I will as well.
Yeah.
21.
Give everybody insight.
It's just kind of sketchy. Throw it. Neat. Okay.
I rolled a 12, so I probably believe him.
I have a 24.
I rolled a 24 as well. Woo.
With the 24, it seems like, yes, this is about as far as they've come. The rest ahead is what they're unfamiliar with, what stopped them in their tracks beforehand. Again, you see the bodies of some of the diggers. Some of the people got taken out, and they're like, all right, fuck this, I'm out. So in this kind of chamber before the next set of tunnel systems, a good ways in that you've made your way in at this point, for pretty far away from that main entrance.
Till that's where you come in. You be the sword, we'll be the pickaxe.
And with that, we're going to end the session. Alrighty, we'll pick up with that for next session, episode 49, right? Yeah, episode 49. And then after that, episode 50. So 2 weeks from now, we're taking a break. So just so you guys know, we're taking a break from the main campaign and starting up, maybe not immediately after, but shortly after, we are doing a kind of spin-off campaign. So we're gathering a team, assembling a team to play in the Zahath campaign, which is going to be some little peeksy doodle, same timeline. It'll take place right after the assassination of King Barth. So if you know in the timeline of things, that's right before a certain Dom is killed and his father. So just before that, we're gonna see some of what's going on over in Zahath with a totally different party. Yeah. So that's where that will pick up. But 2 weeks from now, so we still have 2 sessions. 2 sessions of the main campaign, and then we're going to take a little break. It's more than a little break. It's actually like almost 2 months. So 2 months of a whole other campaign that we get to do, which I'm really excited for, to explore some of that other world that's going on. King Barth. Or King Varth. Sorry.
Barf.
King Barf, basically, that bastard.
Gonna be
You'll
so
get to
much
see
slower.
some of that. You'll get to see what is going on over in Zahath, probably up until the point that this one ends. So hopefully, maybe that'll play out that way. We'll catch up to the timeline of this, and you'll get a taste of what's happening on over there, which is very exciting. But don't forget, you can show us love by doing a donation for our live campaign so we can hold toes. I really want to hold toes with everybody. We just take our socks off, put our toes, and just hold toes together. Hannah, we're doing it.
If your toes are that
We're gonna
long,
take pictures.
well,
You said you take feet pictures. We're interlocking our toes and we're taking a picture. Yours can be in front because yours are probably nicer than mine.
My toes are as long as my fingers. That's
honestly, that might be a physical advantage in some cases.
Or just like there's like a picture where it's like somebody's holding their toes, like it's the toes and then somebody's fingers. Like, we want to hold each other's toes, so show us love that way. But you can also show love by going ! Candles. Get yourself some Wick and Skull Gaming candles! ! Minis, get yourself some Hero Forge minis! Discord, you can show us love by hanging out in the Discord and introducing yourself, hang out, be friends with us, especially when we hang out there in the lounge all the time, see these faces in real time. I am absurd, so I apologize in advance. I'm terrible, so you every now and then, we do the hangies in there, so in Discord, show up there. But stick around. We are going to show somebody some love with a raid. So stick around. We will do a raid to somebody. But first, we go to the Stick around. We're gonna show somebody love with a raid. I'll see you in the Discord.